January was a fantastic month. A fantastic month. A. So I read this book. Didn't really like it. Didn't enjoy it. And I can't even remember what it's about. Hi wonderful people and welcome back to my channel, Bookkraves. I am Giselle. How are you? What's up with this scene? Oh my gosh. January, it is done. January 2023, it is over with. And it is such a wrap. But I read 27 books in January. I think that's the most amount of books that I've ever read in one given month. So I'm going to tell you all about those books that I read. I do have my favorites. If you jump over to my other platform, you would see my favorite reads and the ratings that I gave those 27 books. But listen, there are some series that I started that I'm definitely going to continue reading. There are series that are just like absolutely blowing my mind. So if you want to know what books, what series that I'm talking about, keep watching. If you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead, subscribe, click that button down below there and give this video a thumbs up. So let us get into it. Okay, Brizio. He's part of the DeLuca family. Again, it is a mafia romance. We do have people being tortured and unalived. Okay, so in Brizio, no, as a matter of fact, I would recommend that you read Primo before and then start with Brizio. So in Brizio, we meet Brizio and Maya. Maya is trying to find out who killed her brother. Maya grew up had. She knows the street life and all of that. And so she wants to know what the hell happened to her brother. So she goes into his club and he decides, okay, I will help you because you're going to bring heat to me. Okay? And so they embark on this mysterious, suspenseful journey in finding out who murdered her brother. What they do along the way. And there's also some steamy scenes up in here. Listen, this delivered. Okay? It delivered. These DeLuca men are just savages. They are savages. Okay, so the last book that I read in January is Mason DeLuca. Y'all know how I feel about the DeLuca series, right? If you didn't know, oh my goodness, now you're gonna find out, because these are all dark, badass anti-heroes. So Mason, we have this interracial relationship. We have connections to the mafia. We have someone out to kill him. He also has some type of psychological disorder in that part of his personality is he enjoys killing. He's also an assassin. Mason also has like piercings. I am starting to enjoy books where the hero has piercings. I'm just loving it. So basically in this book, we meet Mason and Nora. Mason is tasked with having to bring back his ex, who is Sebastian's sister. This is Sebastian's story. So he's tasked, or they are tasked with finding her and bringing her back, only to find out that the sister is involved with his father, and his father has that same need to honor live people, but he does it without discretion. This story, it is spicy. It's a nice build in terms of the intimacy between Mason and Nora. Love it. This book almost made me cry. Beautifully scarred, we meet Layla and Jimmy. You have triggers for childhood abuse and you also have triggers for drug use. Layla and Jimmy, they are childhood friends to lovers. Then they go through a period where they needed to separate because Layla needed to heal. She needed to heal properly, and Jimmy, he could not always be there to save her. This is something that she had to do on her own. So she healed, they got back together, and they separated. Listen, but they also got back together after that, right? So you see where there's like ups and downs in their relationship, in their friendship. Who's not willing to commit, who really wants to commit and be there forever after, be there happily ever after. Beautifully scarred. You have the before and the after. You have like a secret pregnancy. They were their everything to each other. And I'll just leave it as that. They were everything to each other. Beautifully Scarred is a beautifully emotionally wrecking story. I know a lot of you are fans of Kenya Wright. So when Dirty Wars released, I read Dirty Wars. But to read Dirty Wars, Giselle decided we will just start at the beginning. So I reread books from the series, The Lion and the Mouse. We reread that. Listen, in Dirty Wars, we have this situation taking place with Blue, Giorgio, and King David. And then we have this situation taking place with Dark Emily. I'm just saying, I really like Dark Emily. But listen, don't read Dirty Wars without reading each of the books. I'm just letting you know. There's no way you can just jump into Dirty Wars. You need to start at the very beginning with Dirty Kisses, because you have one war leading up to another war, leading up to another situation. And listen, they just want all the situation to end. But it cannot, because why? Kenya Wright keeps putting in some type of plot twist. So we had to wait for another book. The suspense was there. The character development was there. The plot was there. Listen, the stories that's happening or the different situations that is happening between the other characters doesn't take away from what is going on with the main character. So yes, the main character is carrying the books, Emily and Kaz. We are also invested in the secondary characters because they have their own drama. I want to know, are we going to get a MFM? Are we going to have Blue choosing between King David and Giorgio? Like, what is going to happen? Like, so listen, I am obsessed with this series by this author. So I decided at the beginning of the year, I want to branch out and read her other books. So I started with this one, Sin at All Costs. And I loved it. This book was hilarious. So this book focuses on Sin and Sterling. Sin and Sterling, they are total opposites. Where Sin, she's from the hood. She's had to fight to make ends meet, do whatever she has to do. She's a stripper. She doesn't care. It's all about making the money and survival. Sterling, he is from, the upper white society, and his mother is very racist. She's like, you know what? No black people coming in this family. Don't even think about it. You marry white, you stay white, and that is it. And there were very racist comments made in this book, but it was part of who the characters were at that point. Did it stay like that? No. David is engaged. He is taken to a stripper for his bachelor party, and he meets Sin. Full stop. Story done. Because he becomes obsessed with Sin. Everything that he was told about black women, he had to unlearn everything. And it got to the point where he just needed Sin in his life. Sin is sassy. She's a smart mouth. She has quick comebacks. And Sterling just didn't know how to handle it. Right? Because when Sin put it down, it's like, it's not dark, but it's not light and fluffy. It's just good. It's just good. Lust. Gosh. First of all, you have to read part 1 first. Once you read part 1, you're like, okay, he's going to try to win her back. So we start with part 2. They get back together. Everything is nice, only for the heroine to discover that that is not her boyfriend. That is not who she's with. Only to discover that, whoa, he has a twin. And then she realizes, I've slept with both of them, thinking that this person was her boyfriend. Her boyfriend knew that his twin slept with her, but they have an arrangement because one is darker than one. And it's like, no, she's just with both of them. It went from F and an M to MFM because of the order, which is an organization where they're part of, and in that organization, it's all about making money. You have to follow the bylaws of the order. You don't follow the bylaws, they kill you. You must be able to deal with that dark side of it. It's not just about making money. Yes, they are rich, but they also have to make sacrifices. And one of the sacrifices that Gia has to make, she's the heroine, is she would need to be with both of them. However, she can only get pregnant by one, but she must accept both. Listen, Lost, it is lusty, yes, but there's so many twists and turns. It was so mind-boggling. The suspense had me in a grip. It had me in its grasp. I'm like, what the is going to happen next? Swear to God, that was my reaction reading this book. Miss Carmen Rosales, when am I going to get part 3? And let's not talk about the secondary characters, because you know what? It have some serious drama happening with Jess and Reid. I'm like, what is Reid going to do? What is Jess up to? Like, this book, January was a fantastic month. A fantastic month. Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay. Another mafia romance, and this is Destroy Me. The spice is good. The story is good. Everything is good in this book. This book has everything that I'm always looking for in a mafia romance. You have the Russian enforcer and the Italian princess already. Boom. This is a forbidden relationship. We are back at Monarch Academy, where everyone in the underworld goes to train. And obviously, the enforcer and the princess, they are there. How long can they withstand the tension and attraction? Because they met before. But, this book, Michelle Hood, she did it. She is becoming one of my favorite authors, one of my go-to authors for mafia romances. You see this one here? No, this one. Yes, I read this one at the beginning of the year, but this one I remembered because this one is good. I enjoyed this story. It is an interracial romance, but it's also one mixed up with revenge, lies, secrets, and betrayal. So it had me hooked. So in this book, we meet Rhett and Zita. Rhett, he is dealing with the death of his brother. It looks as though his brother committed suicide, but he knew his brother did not unalive himself. He knew that. They are from a family where it's a crime organization. They have their claws into politics and businesses and all of that. They have to be ruthless in order to survive this world. They also have close friends because you know how those secret organizations work. Rat, seeking revenge for his brother, found out who was involved and decided to have them murdered. One survived, and that one was out for revenge. And so he had his sister infiltrate his organization, infiltrate his business. However, his sister fell in love with the enemy. How could she? But I understood why, because I knew what type of man Rhett is. I would have fallen in love with Rhett too, okay? And so she had like some choices to make, but this book is good. It is good. I really enjoyed the steam. It was a gradual build. It wasn't just bam. This book, Villain's Obsession. Jesus Christ. Yo, this book with Zach and Lorelai. Lorelai is in love with Zach. She has always had a thing from him from like growing up years. However, Zach is her brother's best friend. Okay? Turns out they hook up along the way. That is just life. They hook up and then Zach gets framed for a murder and he has to disappear. When he does that, she realizes, boom, she's pregnant. All right. She loses the baby, and now she's been forced to marry someone else. Zach comes back. He's like, that ain't going to happen. And so he is there trying to figure out behind the scenes who is responsible for this person's death and why they are blackmailing him with this debt, because the consequences for what they did, because this person is a member of their secret society, of this crime organization, is debt. So turns out that Lorelai's family was involved. Okay, I will not give you any more spoilers, but it's so good. So many secrets. It helped me spellbound. It held me with this suspense, plot twists, the secrets, the lies, the betrayal. It held me in villain's obsession. I read this book, Big Bad Wolf. It is a duet. I haven't read part 2 yet. I like this book. It is dark. It's not my type of dark. We meet Lucinda. Lucinda, she is the daughter of a mafia king in Chicago, and her virginity is sold off to someone. This person likes to do harsh things to females. He likes to keep them caged, and this was done so that her father and her brother can get help in dealing with outside issues from other mafia organization. Turns out that was all a setup. She meets someone else from another organization or crime organization, and now she likes this person. This person now wants to kill her because he feels as though she betrayed him, and now she's on the run for her life. And he gave her a head start, and he's like, anytime that I find you, you are going to be unalived. But I know he's not going to do it because he secretly fell in love with her. I'm just saying. Just saying. He's not going to kill her. There's no way he'll kill us. And the reason I know that he's not going to kill her is because he kidnapped her from the enemy. So you can't kidnap somebody, hold them against their will, treat them in a particular way, and kill them. Not gonna happen. So not gonna happen. So I read this book here by Amaya Black, and it is a dark mafia interracial romance. Very interesting at the beginning, but I felt as though I wanted more from the story. So what happens in this book is that the heroine, she goes in and she steals from a mafia boss. How you gonna do that? But that's her trade. That's what she knows. So she goes in and she steals from him and she sells it to this person to get money to, live life. Guess what happens? That person that she sold it to is going to use that to infiltrate this mafia boss organization to take control. And, things happen. It's a really good story. I like it. I just wanted more. I wanted more action because some things I felt was a bit fluffed over, in my opinion. Like, when you read it, you let me know. I did like the story, good suspense and everything, but I don't like when things are fluffed over in a book. I want to know it all. Describe everything to me. Go into details. That is what I like, right? And I didn't get that. Don't make me. Okay, so I enjoyed this story. This is another mafia romance. It's dark. You have some BDSM, but in terms of the violence and stuff like that, you don't really get as much in this book. We meet a mafia princess. She is working as a stripper. You don't have to do that, honey. Why are you doing that? But anyways, then we meet Carlos. He is her father's right-hand man. He walks into the club. He sees her. He's like, girl, what you doing here? Takes her, carries her home, let her know she can't be doing this. Turns out they have an attraction for each other and she needs certain things. He can provide certain things in terms of with this whole BDSM relationship, and they embark on a secret relationship behind the mafia boss. How you will do that? Somebody bound to know, somebody bound to mess up, okay? It was nice. It wasn't like blew my mind. heart racing or anything like that. The spice is good, the story is good. I just cannot put my finger on what was missing, what I wanted more of. So I read this book. Didn't really like it. Didn't enjoy it. And I can't even remember what it's about. His favorite, I don't remember what his favorite is about, but I do remember that I did not like it. I gave it 1 or 2 stars. It just wasn't good. No, this book wasn't cute. There was no way I would use cute to describe this book. This book, it is twisted. It is nice. It's fairly dark. It's a reverse harem. And it's exactly what I like to read because I more or less deal with adult situations when it comes to books, right? So in this book, we meet Billy, and Billy has been on the run for 8 years. Something very tragic happened to her when she was around 16, and so she has been on the run ever since. However, around that period of time, she did have relations with Jace and Angelo. Angelo's family is involved in crime, and Jace went on to becoming a famous musician. So she's at her ends. She's been evicted. She has no money, and so she picks up a job as a waitress at a particular restaurant that she knows she shouldn't even go to, but she goes anyway. Turns out everyone dies, and now she's a lone survivor, and Angelo's family wants to find out, to question her, and obviously they're going to murder her after. So she's on the run, and then she runs into this really sweet, awesome guy, Rhett. Rhett is part of a band. She didn't realize that Jace was a part of the band that Rhett was in, and so the next morning, who does she bounce up? Jace. And then she forms a really good relationship with Grayson. Grayson is the dark, brooded guy, the dangerous one, the one who will snap your neck in a So, yes. In this book, though, she only sleeps with one person. I'm not going to let you know one person, so I'm really looking forward to book 2. This story, it is really, really good because the mafia is still after her, and now the band is trying to protect her, and it ends on a cliffhanger because she runs away. I'm not saying no more. Okay, so my first read of 2023 was Forget Me Nots. Listen, this book is so emotional. It is a second chance interracial romance. There's also cheating in this book, and you have a situation where you have this couple that is going through a divorce. They have separated. However, the husband gets into an accident and doesn't remember anything. So you have memory loss. On top of that, he doesn't remember that, one, they are separated, going through the divorce. He also doesn't remember the fact that he caused this woman pain. He broke this woman's heart, that he betrayed her. He doesn't remember a damn thing. But oh my goodness, I devoured this book. I enjoyed this storyline. So I read these 2 books here. They're from the same author, and it almost follows a similar storyline in that you have 3 families, and with these families, because there's some type of folklore, they have to keep marrying each other. Every generation, there's some type of arranged marriage between the 3 families. One person from each of these families must marry into another family, and with that helps to maintain their wealth. If they don't do it, then they die. The story was quite interesting in that the need to continue with the arranged marriage between the families. In this one, we have Knox and Cassidy, and Knox is supposed to marry into one of the other 2 families, right? However, he encounters Cassidy, and from the time he meets Cassidy, he's thinking, this is the person that I'm supposed to be with. However, she is a runaway. She's not from any one of those families, and he's willing to sacrifice that. You have someone else that is wanting to be with him for the wrong reasons from one of the other families. You have a lot of drama with that, but you also have where Cassidy has her own secrets, and we get a happily ever after with that. And then we have Wolf and Vivi. Oh my goodness, Vivi was totally taken advantage of. She was so manipulated by her family member. There was nothing that she could do about it. With Knox, Knox became such a protector, and oh my goodness, I just love the way that he stood up for her. There were some situations that were happening in that particular family, in Vivi family, and Wolf went right in and he's like, yo, you're not doing that. This is my wife. I have a say now in this family. In these two books, it's not dark. You'll know I like to do dark. It's not dark, but it's just right. Like, I get my happily ever after. I get my drama between the couples. I get additional suspense there. And I do get a few people being unalived. So, and in both books, both the heroines are virgins. Just throwing it out there, okay? Just throwing it out there. Touch of Heat. No, I have mixed emotions about this book. This book was a struggle for me. In this book, we meet Rayne and Scarlet. Rayne betrays Scarlet. He ends up kidnapping her because he really wants to be with her. There's this whole like secret organization that he's trying to take down because they did wrong to him, which is fine. But it took really long to get to the good part of the book, in that there was stuff that it was just like drawn out. The first 50% of the book was just drawn out. The second half of the book was really good because we find out that Rayne has some serious psychological issues. He has a whole different personality that he doesn't even know about. So I would assume he has DID, dissociative identity disorder. Like, he's doing things, Rayne is doing things, but he is unaware what he's doing when he's not Rayne. And so Scarlet discovers that, and his other personality is out to get her. Turns out she's pregnant. But it's the drama leading up to all of that that I didn't really get. But all in all, this book, it is good. I just wish that the beginning wasn't watered down, because we got all the substance in the second half of the book. It ends on a cliffhanger, and I'm just letting you know that I am going to read the second. I am going to read the second part. I finally read my first Talia Hibbert's book, and I like it. So the book that I read is Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. It is a young adult romance. It didn't have as much romance that I'm accustomed to in some young adult books, but the story, it's cute, it's nice. It's all about these two individuals that were friends growing up. As they entered high school, there was a separation. They were moving in different cliques, and then their families are close family friends, so they didn't have a choice but to see each other. And one of them wanted to apply for the scholarship. When that person heard that, the male character, he decided, I'm going to do that too. And he's going there to like try to support her, try to rebuild that friendship that they had, which was really nice. Turns out that he won the scholarship, although he didn't actually want it. It dealt with some serious issues, but it was cute. And this brings me to the final book, Oblivion. Now, this is part of a series. It shouldn't be read as a standalone. I didn't realize that. I was just enthralled by the blurb and decided, oh, I'm going to read it because it seemed as though I could read it as a standalone. No, you cannot read it as a standalone. You need to read the previous book. However, I was able to follow along with the story. In Oblivion, there is a push and pull between the main characters, Storm and Ophelia. Ophelia, she is from like the mafia world, and Storm is from the MC world. And even with this push and pull, Storm does something that he shouldn't be forgiven for, in my opinion. He does something and she's there, she forgives him. she realizes that she's pregnant now. And the thing is, there's someone out to get her. There's someone that wants to kill her. But she's an assassin as well. So I'm going to read the previous books in the series and then reread this one and before the next one comes out, because I like Ophelia. Ophelia, she's dark. She isn't afraid to get dirty. She isn't afraid to make sacrifices, hard sacrifices. However, now she has to think about a baby. But yeah, the push and pull between Storm and Ophelia, I really want them to work out. But this person that is after Ophelia, I want to know, does it go back to childhood? Like, how far does it go back to? And what is it that she hates about Ophelia that she wants to kill her? So yeah, so this is all the books that I read in January. It was a lot and I had a blast. I would say 95% of the books that I read, I absolutely loved and was engrossed in. It's okay, the 5% was all right or cute, but the majority were excellent, were amazing stories. And listen, I'm going to come back and recommend some of these books that I mentioned to you, and we could probably go a bit more in depth. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next video. Bye.